What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Talk Talk Punch. My name is Brody Hanson, here with Charlie Hickman.
Howdy.
How's it going, Charlie?
Actually, we'll start. Can I start with a shameful story, if you don't mind, real quick?
Absolutely. It's the best way to start.
So last night, I'm standing on top of my wood stairs in my socks, just to give you like a little preview of what's about to happen.
Can't wait to see where this goes.
And I'm watching my son play beautifully upstairs, and my heart is full. It is full, bro, full of love and warmth. And I turned to go downstairs, and it's the most cartoon fall I've ever had. It was like the banana peel under the foot, just like, feet out, body flailing. I just slip, and my feet and my legs shoot like straight out. The entirety of my weight comes crashing down on my elbow and my ankle and my hip. So I got like a golf ball over here that's like slowly continuing to swell out in day 2. I've got bruises on my ankle and my side. I got a little kink in my shoulder back here, and it hurt my feelings quite a bit. It was.
Did your kids
very
just laugh
embarrassing? No one saw, but everyone in the house heard. No matter what room they were in, the thud was very, very loud. It carried. Neighbors were coming over. They're like, "We heard a fall." I got called. I got a friend in Long Beach who's like, "Is everything okay?" Because I swear I just heard the thud of all time. I hit hard. It's been a while since I played a lot of sports, and I had some painful injuries throughout my my athletic career.
Yeah.
But this is like my first worst non-sports. I had my head split open. That hurt. Like you could see brain almost. It was like you could see skull. I showed my sister before I went to the doctor, and she started weeping openly because of how deep the wound was. It didn't hurt at all, top of the head. I was like, I'm broken. I kind of lied like the outline of a murder scene. I just kind of lied on the steps there for a minute. I'm thinking, this is it. It's over. I'm too old to do this. I've shattered my every bone. I'm just jelly now. They're gonna just scoop me up, and my kids will have to wheel around a little puddle, one of those little poodle strollers. It'll just be a pile of dad.
Now, did you go down the stairs or just?
I went down more stairs than I'd like to admit.
You have
it was bad
stairs too, man.
And they were hard, man. Those things, they don't mess around. So but hey, you know what? The great ones play hurt. So I'm here tonight.
You're here.
I'm here. No problem. I got some Advil in the system. I'm ready to rock.
You're here to talk about Christmas movies. So tonight, Charlie and I are ranking our top 10 favorite Christmas movies. Now, what criteria constitutes a Christmas movie? Let's wait and find out. I think we'll have some crossovers, but I think we might also have some discussion points on some of these.
You made cheap choices, I'm guessing. We'll get there, I'm sure.
No.
I'm already disappointed in your list. I'm already disappointed.
Honest choices. All good.
Yeah, honestly, disappointing choices.
All
okay.
Good choices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I'm sure they're delightful movies.
If it's a movie that I regularly watch during Christmas time, it's a Christmas movie.
Oh, that is terrible criteria. That might be the worst criteria I've ever heard.
Christmas movie. Woo! Here we go.
All right. Oh man.
All right. Well, let's
get into it.
Let's start at number 10. Okay. Oh wait. Are these like? Are these your favorite Christmas movie from least to best? Are these like most encompassing of the Christmas and the holidays? What's kind of your idea here?
The answer to your questions is yes. These are both a list of some of my favorite individual movies. And okay, so I guess we'll pull back the curtain here. I'll give you a little bit of my process, since I guess you and I had very different process as we went through this. How important, like how many times have I seen it? Like how important was it to me when I was younger, and versus like how important is it to me now? So some of these movies like were like stuff that like I hold a special place in my heart from my childhood that have kind of carried through that I've shared with my kids, but that I don't think are good movies and don't enjoy as much as an adult, but they still are meaningful in some way. Maybe just don't hold up quite as well. There are new movies that didn't make the list that might make the list in a few years because repetition was important to me. It's like, how important is it, like a part of like my traditions? I didn't grow up in a family that had traditions. We didn't all gather around to watch Christmas movies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So these are kind of, but there are some movies that I watch with my family yearly and that have become part of our traditions. And those are also ranked accordingly on here. And then there's, it ultimately kind of plays out like a list. If you had to sit me down and say, okay, you're going to watch 10 Christmas movies that you've already seen, this is the order that I would probably be wanting to watch them in, with some variation depending on who I'm watching with.
Okay.
But for me, Brody,
I just kind of gathered Christmas movies and was like that one. That one is good. That one I watch regularly during Christmas time. My top 5 are like, Christmas, like most Christmases we watch those. My bottom 5 are like, yeah, those are Christmas movies that I enjoy. So
that's fair. For me, for my definition of what makes a Christmas movie, twofold. Number one, it's got to be a movie that would feel weird to watch in any other month of the year. Right? So if I'm putting on a Christmas movie in July and my wife walks in the room and she's like, why are you watching? And this did not make my list because I actually haven't seen it, but let's say Miracle on 34th Street. And I'm watching that in July. My wife walks in. She's going to be confused as to why I'm watching that because it's a Christmas movie and it's July. She's going to be like, why? What's up? Secondary, Christmas for me has to play almost like a character's role in the film. So it doesn't necessarily, so maybe there's a Christmas movie that you could watch all year round, but in that scenario, Christmas would have to play like almost the role of a character in the film. There's got to be more than just like one scene at a party or like one Christmas carol in the background, or one of the characters has a Santa hat in one scene. So for me, Christmas has to play like a thematic role in the film. And that'll be reflected in my rankings. And judging by your face and the comments that you've already made, I'm guessing that you did not put such a strict or rigorous criteria on your selections.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's fair.
I have an honorable mention of Batman Returns. Come on.
Off to the races.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne. Merry Christmas, Alfred. Goodwill towards men and women.
Oh
Come on. It says it right there.
I'm going to withhold comment. I'm going to withhold comment until we get...
It's totally a Christmas. I would never watch that any other time but Christmas.
That's like saying in a Batman movie when Alfred says, I fought in the war, that makes it a war film.
If because it flashes back to his time in the war.
So then it's a war film? Because there have been Batman films, I feel like, where we've seen like a glimpse of Alfred like doing something in a war at some point in time. Look, don't mess with me. I got so many Batman posters on my wall. It was called Alfred Begins.
Oh, I would watch
the story of Alfred.
Actually, they have a show coming out called Pennyworth. That would
see
do that.
Right. Anyway,
what are you drinking tonight?
So we get to the list.
What is that?
I'm boring, and pretty much every podcast we have, I'm just drinking coffee.
Oh,
gives me that extra burst of energy to deal with your lists.
I'm drinking
what are you drinking?
The Kirkland eggnog liqueur.
I knew it was eggnog.
I go through one of these bottles every
day,
week or two.
Week or two. For those of you out there watching, find someone who loves you and looks at you the way Brody does eggnog. Because there's a deep passion for the nog.
So there we go. All right. On to the list. Number
on to the list.
10. Charlie, what's your number 10 Christmas movie? Your least favorite?
Now, I'm guessing this one made your list. I'm guessing it made it higher on your list. Okay. But my number 10 is The Santa Claus.
Okay.
With Tim Allen. I don't know if it's on your list.
Actually, it's not on my list. I did think about it though.
Oh. Fun fact: one of Brody's relatives was in one of the Santa Claus films.
Was in Santa Claus 3. Actually, yeah, my father-in-law and my brother-in-law were in that.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, thought about it. Didn't end up putting it on. I don't know why. I don't know. It's
Oh,
just
because you were putting like movies like Batman on there that happen to say the word Christmas in it once. So there's no room for movies that have, I don't know, Santa.
well, just to Batman Returns was an honorable mention. It wasn't actually on my list.
Okay. I have some honorable mentions too, but we'll go over those at the end, as to not give away what did or did not make the list.
Okay.
For me, like the Santa Claus, it's a nice little movie. It's cute enough. It's fun to watch with my family. It is not one I feel like that has held up particularly great over the years. I don't particularly like Tim Allen as an actor or a person. So it's not one that I'm rushing to put on, but it's also not one that I would like turn off if it were on in the room, and not one where if my kids were like, let's watch the Santa Claus, I'm like, ugh. It's like, okay, fine, that's great. It's not my go-to, but it's a nice holiday movie, and like maybe every 4 Christmases I'll put it on. So, and that's enough this year to make the top 10. So that was like a very low sell of a 10th ranked film.
Well, it didn't make my list. I remember watching it when I was a kid. And I don't think it's made my list because I probably haven't seen it in a long time. It's just
it's kind of dark, man. They kill Santa. Santa dies. Dead.
Yeah, by just falling off a roof. He dies very easily for being Santa Claus.
I feel like he should be good at like roof falls, having the job that he has.
Yeah, you think so? You think so?
I would think so. Good.
All right, so my number 10, I have a feeling this might be higher on your list, actually. I think this might be one of our crossovers, which I'm guessing we'll have 3 crossovers over this whole thing. I'm hoping there's not too many crossovers, but this one might be higher on your list because like this is like your style.
All right, out with it. What do you got for me?
So I have Scrooged.
Oh, I love Scrooged. Yeah, it does make my list, and it is higher.
Okay. Yeah, it's great. It's kind of a new take on the Christmas Carol. It's got Bill Murray, who is just great at everything. It's fun. It's another one that's kind of dark. It's not one that kind of really makes the Christmas viewings, mostly because I have kids and I'm kind of like, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't seen it in a little while. And so, it needs another viewing just to see how it goes. But my guess is that my kids would be scared of it, which is why it hasn't come out in a while. But it's good. It's fun. It's got a Tim Burton score,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's very Tim Burton, the whole thing.
It is.
Let me talk about it now. Or let's
not talk about it now, unless it's your number 9.
It is not.
Okay, then
it is higher.
We'll touch on that when you get a little bit higher, and that way we can have some discussion. So how about your number 9 then?
My number 9, and I've got a feeling that you may have never even seen this film. It is Ernest Saves Christmas.
I've seen Ernest Saves Christmas. Hey, I was a kid in the 90s. I remember all the Ernest movies.
Look, this is
I couldn't tell you a thing about the movie, but I know I saw it.
Watch it with the kids. Watch it with the kids. It's a great it's a bad movie. It's not a good film. But come on. It's a little, it's not like Dumb and Dumber on Christmas. I don't know. It's got a pleasing blend of like harmless fun.
Sure.
And it's if you're watching this and you've never seen an Ernest film, I think maybe all of that has passed you and just move on with your life. And it's not like you missed it. You better go back and see it.
Gotta see an Ernest
Jim
movie.
Varney was funny. He was talented, and it was enjoyable when I was a kid. I really liked it. I told the story on one of the podcasts about seeing an Ernest film with my grandfather. Ernest got he's got a little place in my heart, a little tender spot.
Yeah.
I have shown this one to my kids. They did not care and did not pay attention.
Oh, really?
Hey, well, I mean, like they tuned in for parts.
Okay.
It's not. I think it was like 1988.
Yeah,
so it was some of the special effects, and
it was a long time ago.
I showed it to him too young. I'm gonna try it again this year and see if this is the year for Ernest. But this is like, I love tinfoil wrapped hamburgers, and there is no part of me that thinks they are good, but they're delicious and I enjoy them. Recommend. If someone came to me and they said, recommend me a hamburger, I don't know how deep down I would have to get on the list to recommend those like tinfoil wrapped hamburgers. You get them like on airplanes. They used to be in school lunches.
Okay.
I went to like Vegas and was eating at a buffet once, and I had like a plate full of ribs and prime rib. And I was walking back to my seat, and there's like a tub of just foil wrapped burgers. I was like, oh, I sped ate that prime rib, and I came back and I just fistfuls of these just like gross 7-Eleven style hamburgers. They're bad. They're terrible. They're not good for you. They don't taste good. There's nothing redeeming about them, but I love them. And that's a little bit like Ernest Saves Christmas.
Okay.
If you have seen Ernest and it's been a long time, pop it on this year. It's on Netflix, I believe, or one. It's definitely on one of the streamers. It's on one. Yeah, it was on Netflix last or 2 years ago when I showed the kids.
Okay.
It's definitely on one of the streaming services. There's so many now; it's hard to keep track of. But
I know.
Yeah, check it out. Show the kids. They'll get a laugh.
Yeah, I loved the Ernest movies when I was a kid. You know, being that like late 80s, early 90s, you know, Ernest Goes to Camp, I think was always my favorite one. But, you know, and so I know that I've seen this, but boy, I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
Recapture the magic this year, bro. This is the year you recapture the magic.
Not a thing.
All right. What's your number 9?
All right. So my number 9, I have, and I'm not looking at my list. I'm not sure why it's as low as it is, but I have a Charlie Brown Christmas. It probably could be higher. But hey, this is my list as I wrote it down. So Charlie Brown Christmas. It's just kind of a classic cartoon. You know, you got the Charlie Brown, you got Snoopy, you've got, you know, everything going towards this pageant, and then Linus kind of comes in and spells out, you know, the real meaning of Christmas. And it's just a nice one. I know that I've watched this you know, somewhat recently with kids, and you know, it just grandparents' house and stuff like that. And it's just a good one. It's one that I feel like we could bring out, you know, any Christmas time and just sit down and everybody would enjoy it. And it's, you know, it's Snoopy, so it's funny, and you know, definitely more on the kids side of things, but it's still, you know, you get that meaning of Christmas that we enjoy. So
I like Vince Guaraldi quite a bit. He does the music for like all the Peanuts cartoons and stuff. And that Christmas Time Is Here that's in there is like, it's just this really jazzy piano number. Great score. I don't have that on my list. I know it's a, I'm going to air quote it, movie, but isn't it like 20 minutes long? I kind of view that as like a television
I think it's
special.
longer than that. I don't. Honestly,
minutes, maybe?
Honestly, I don't even know.
It's not one that I watch frequently, and it's not one that I'm going to watch this year. But it is a nice family cartoon.
Oh, it is. It's only 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It feels like a TV special to me, but
sure,
they call it a movie, I think.
You know, and when I was going through my list, it came to mind, and so I was like, oh yeah, that's one that we can watch.
Yeah,
not even really thinking of like, you know, I guess in my mind I was imagining like an hour or something like that. So yes, like movie versus, you know,
that'll be the least controversial take of the night, bro, on your list. So.
Probably will, definitely will. Yeah, I've got some doozies on here. Just you wait till I bring it.
I'm waiting. Oh gosh, that's not on your list, is it?
It's Christmas, Charlie.
It's not on your list.
It's a Christmas movie.
That is not on your list.
It's not on my list. Honorable mention.
Okay, there's snow in it. So
yes, there's lots of snow. It takes place during Christmas. Doggone it, he makes it snow.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, not number 8. What's your
number 8 for me is A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, okay.
Kermit D. Frog here to tell you all about Muppet Christmas Carol. Yay! The story of Bob Cratchit and his little
Frog. Oh my gosh. Anyway, this was a staple for me, and just for many years, this was like one of my go-to Christmas films. Not so much as a kid, but I don't remember what year this came out, but this was like
it was like 94.
I was like
I want to say it was
strangely
like
into the Muppets when I was in probably high school and college. I don't know. I like the Muppets a lot, so I'd watch Muppets over and over again. for holidays, for occasions. And not like I watched them year round, although the Muppet Show, pretty good. Come on.
Hey, it was.
Obviously, I like doing my Kermit impression and saying Rainbow Connection in my Kermit the Frog voice from my high school talent show. Not a dry eye in the house. I'm just brought the whole gym down to thousands of just weeping high schoolers. Like,
did you sit on the log with the little guitar?
I did. Yeah.
Little banjo?
I did. Had my little green legs kicking around. It was great. Wore a full green bodysuit. Very tight. It was.
It'd have to be.
Hey. The Christmas Carol story is obviously a very classic, very classic Christmas tale, and it has been redone in a lot of different formats with a lot of different actors and a lot of different styles, from cartoon to puppets to live action. You already mentioned Scrooged, and that obviously is higher on my list. It follows kind of that same story. It's one that I feel very connected to for Christmas. It's just like that. It's like a smell or a sound that kind of brings you back to your childhood. This one kind of does it for me. Now, it does it for me in a way where it's still number 8 on my list because, again, as I've gotten older, it's just, it's great. It's fun. I'm glad it existed. It was a lovely movie for a lot of years of my life. Not one that I'm running out to. My kids don't like Muppets.
Who does? You think it's
these
like
kids these days?
Is it an age thing? Are kids just because my kids? Whenever we talk about our family movie night and I talk about a Muppets movie, they're always like, no, Muppets are too scary. Is that a thing?
Could be.
I don't know.
When my kids were finally old enough to I felt like the live action stuff, they were like less scared of than the cartoon stuff, because they do stuff to like cartoon characters that it's like they're throwing them off of buildings and hitting them with so when bad things happen in a cartoon, it gets real dark. And it's something like Big Hero 6 is like such a scary movie. At least for me, it's too scary for me. My kids, they're fine, but for me, I can't watch it. It's a good movie.
Stan Lee's
sad, man.
Come on.
Good man. Anyway, so Muppet Christmas Carol. I don't know what we can. You know what? We'll have another podcast. Why don't kids like Muppets?
I don't know.
Muppets can be creepy. I don't know.
I mean, I guess so.
What's your number? What's your number 8?
All right, so my number 8, I have the Polar Express. Oh, that was now okay. So the Polar Express, I like the story of the Polar Express. We had the book when I was young. Yes, the animation's a bit creepy. Yes, the animation doesn't hold up
a bit.
It's not great. It's early technology.
Yeah.
They're a bit soulless in their eyes, but the story itself, I enjoy the story, and so having the kids there, getting the hot chocolate, going to the North Pole, and all of that I enjoy. It's my number 8. It's not one that we pull out all the time, but I know that I always liked the story. Even as a kid. And so when the movie came out, and at the time the movie was like, oh, that's cool. It's, it is what it is. And it's just kind of, as technology has progressed, you go back to Polar Express and you're kind of like, we're gonna look at it as a thing of its time. But it's got Tom Hanks and so me, mostly for the story, I have Polar Express.
Okay,
that's a Christmas movie.
It's my number
Charlie.
1.
It's a Christmas movie.
It's number 1 on my list.
Oh, okay. Spoilers.
No, I'm just kidding. No, you saw the face I made.
I did see the face you made.
They are soulless cartoons, Brody. They have no soul. Look into their dead eyes, Brody. They're all the premise of that whole movie is that the kid is dead. That's the whole premise.
But he wakes up
dead,
on Christmas morning.
No, he does not wake up on Christmas morning. That whole journey is him getting to the afterlife, and then he loops.
Oh, I mean, I've never thought of it that way.
It's an endless 2-day cycle of eternity. All right, my number 7, and bear with me here. I'll try to be very brief.
Oh, okay.
My number 7 is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and this is
That's
a movie.
Low, Charlie.
This is a movie that I loved growing up. And last year, my wife's like, I've never seen it. So I'm like, okay, we're putting this on. We're watching. It could have been last year, could have been 2 years ago. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Irrelevant to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it on and we're watching it. And it's like, just the laughs really weren't there. Like, it's just not really holding up.
Really?
It's like, okay, yeah, all right. None of the characters are very sympathetic. Like Chevy Chase's character is kind of just a douche nozzle and like, fantasizing about other women and
it's true.
And they keep just like destroying the family. Look, the family next to him is obnoxious, but they're like breaking windows and knocking them out. And like, I don't know, like they're kidnapping people. I don't like it's.
Well, that was the cousin. That was cousin Eddie. You can't blame that.
They're all just gonna tear. Randy Quaid is such a. Speaking of douche nozzles, Randy Quaid, but look, the whole movie is it's on my list, and it's on my list at 7, largely because of where it used to be. Like this was like a number 1 for me for a lot of years.
Yeah.
But out of all the movies that I've said so far, from 8 to 10, this is the one that's most likely to phase off of my list over the next couple of years.
Really? Off the list completely?
If it's not funny to me anymore, there's not like that like warmth factor to it. There's not like that, oh man, that like really like brings it home. Like it's a comedy and it's got to be funny. Otherwise, like some of these other movies, like there's like a heart behind them. Like a warmth. So even if like maybe the laughs aren't there anymore, there's like still enough of like a sentiment behind it to like draw you in. I don't know. It's just once the laughs are gone, it's kind of like, watching I don't know, The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
And thinking it's not funny, and then watching the entire movie, which would be like the worst movie experience, like Airplane or something. If you're not laughing, then there's just not, that substance isn't there for me. But it still ranks number 7 because it meant a lot to me. I've got a feeling, just based on your reaction, that you can rebuttal me. You're gonna have some high thoughts and praise to heap on it later on. That's great. I look forward to hearing about it. Maybe I just was in a bad place. Maybe it was just because she wasn't laughing at all. But there's just
she didn't laugh at all.
I don't know. She likes things in the way that you feel self-conscious with her liking it. You're like, oh, did you enjoy it? She's like, yeah, it was great. It was very funny. I didn't laugh or smile. And I may have been surfing Instagram about halfway through that because I didn't really care what was happening on the screen, but I enjoyed it. And I'm glad that we had that experience together. So I don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Anyway, number 7 for me. What about you?
Okay. My number 7, I have Muppet Christmas Carol.
Hey,
that's our first crossover.
Not easy.
Yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol. I think it came out, like I said, I think it was about 1994. And I remember having the VHS and I remember like watching this like over and over again. I really liked this movie. It's got the Muppets, it's got Michael Caine, it's got some parts, even though it's Muppets, it's got like the ghost of the holiday future, that's creepy. And
that is
he's pretty creepy, and so this one just kind of hit a lot of the right spots, and it's one that I haven't seen in a while. I'd really like to watch again. I wish that my kids weren't so scared of Muppets, because I would really like to watch this one with them.
Well, don't show them that part with the the future ghost. if they're scared of Muppets, because there's no coming back from that, bro.
I know, and I want to watch it with them, and it's I think it's one of those ones where it's like, oh, I really like this as a kid. And it's this take on the Christmas Carol, and for a long time, and maybe even ever, I don't have a higher Christmas Carol version on here, so I guess this is my favorite version of kind of the Christmas Carol.
Sounds like it.
Scrooged is a nice like take on it, but is also very much its own thing, where Muppet Christmas Carol is like, hey, this is the Christmas Carol, it just has Muppets like injected into it. And so so this one was always like a favorite of mine, and I wish I could watch it. Why don't kids like Muppets, Charlie? Why
just make them
don't
watch it.
Kids like Muppets? In the comments, if you're young, are you afraid of the Muppets?
Let us know.
Put a comment.
And if not, let us know
Comment.
what age you started to love the Muppets. Give us a time frame here. When can we expect our kids to turn around and really embrace Muppetum?
And be able to appreciate the Muppets, the comedy of the Muppets. Yeah. I don't know.
Here.
So yeah, so you touched on a lot of things, but there's my number 7 is Muppet Christmas Carol.
Can I interest you in Steve Martin?
Absolutely, you can interest me in.
What about Madeline Kahn?
Oh yes, love some Madeline Kahn.
Anthony LaPaglia.
Sure. Don't know
Rob Reiner.
Who that is right off the top of my head. Rob Reiner, yes.
Robert Klein.
Okay.
Liev Schreiber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rita Wilson.
He was Sabretooth.
Parker Posey. Yeah. Rita Wilson, Parker Posey, Jon Stewart, Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like a big bag of mixed nuts.
Gary Shandling, Stephen Wright, and even an appearance by a young Haley Joel Osment.
Oh, really?
That's right, sir. Yeah. This was the cast of Mixed Nuts, among other people. And I am not sure that I like this movie.
And yet it's number 6 on your list.
But yet it's number 6 because, look, I should say I'm not sure I still like this movie as much because I've yet to watch it this holiday season.
Okay. When was the last time you watched it?
We're just ticking here. I think probably it was a few years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
But your tastes change and evolve. Look, I like this one. It's a chaotic comedy. It's not necessarily the funniest of movies or the most tender of movies, but I could watch Steve Martin read a phone book. And Madeline Kahn, she is just the best. There's like little doe-eyed hearts coming out of me. Flames flaming on the side of my face, heaving. Sorry, Clue, people, if you've never seen Clue, Madeline Kahn. But look, this is one. The cast is great, and it's got kind of a darker storyline to it, and I want to watch it again to see how much I still like it. But as for now, it's on the list firmly at 6, just because when I think about it, I smile, and part of that is because this is going to sound maybe the dumbest thing that I've said so far on this podcast, so bear with me. But when I used to have DVDs in a DVD collection, I would link them together through actors, and you can only use an actor once. So for instance, if I was linking from Scrooged with Bill Murray, I could go into another movie with Bill Murray, like let's say Groundhog Day. But then from there, I'd have to go into, like, let's say, Andy McDowell movies. So then Andy McDowell would be in 4 Weddings and a Funeral with Hugh Grant. And then maybe now I'm in a Hugh Grant section. And you can never reuse actors.
But
so
you could have multiple movies with the same actors. You could have like blocks of.
You could have like 10 Steve Martin.
It's not like every single movie had to be a new actor.
Exactly. But Mixed Nuts for me was great because it just opened up so many avenues. It was a great linking movie. So it might be also that's pumping up the rankings because it was such a versatile film. I could stick it in my Steve Martins, and then it's like, oh man, okay, this Adam Sandler movie is really tough to link. Let me pull this out here, and now I've got Adam Sandler and about 15 other actors that are pretty prominent that I can move into other films. So, little peek behind the OCD DVD collecting brain.
I remember it.
Remember DVDs, Brody?
I remember it.
I haven't bought a DVD in like 5 years. Longer.
I bought a Blu-ray in February as a birthday present for my son.
Did you? What'd you buy?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Because they love it, and so they can just watch it over and over again. And I'm like, I'll just buy the other Blu-ray. But yes, before that, it had been a long time.
Anyway, that was a terrible review of Mixed Nuts, but look, this is one that maybe is like a little less common around the holidays. So if you've never seen it, check it out. It's not. I don't think it's on the streaming services, which is why it's a little bit harder. I do have the DVD of this, which is why it's lower in rotation because it requires minimal effort. It's like, should we watch this other one that's already on Netflix, or should I get up and go to the garage and get a DVD and pop it in the player? It's like, all right, let's just watch Ernest Saves Christmas on Netflix instead. So it gets less in rotation because I have to actually do the physical work of putting it on. So anyway, Mixed Nuts.
There you go. All right, my number 6. This one might be controversial. You may take issue with this one.
I already have.
I don't, because I think it's a Christmas movie. And that's Gremlins. Christmas movie. Takes place during Christmas. Come on now. It's great.
It's better than Edward Scissorhands or Batman.
He gets that as a Christmas present. She's got the story of her dad dressing up as Santa Claus. It's a Christmas movie. It's a great movie. It's funny. It's scary. Come on. It's Steven Spielberg.
Look, I like Gremlins. It's a fine film. Let us know below where you would stand. And this is a little bit of a divide here between Brody and I and our stances here. I wouldn't think it was weird if I walked in July and Brody was watching Gremlins. I wouldn't be like,
you wouldn't.
In July?
There's snow in like every scene, and they're constantly talking about Christmas.
Snow is not it's not the theme of Christmas. It's an element.
That's because you live in Southern California. there is
right,
snow.
which makes snow even rarer for me, right? It's like but if I watch like an alpine ski movie or something, like Ski School or something, like a snowboard thrasher film or slasher. I don't know. I don't.
Then you know that Christmas is around the corner.
It snows in January and February and in lots of different months across the world, also all throughout the year.
I think Gremlins is a Christmas movie. Let us know in the comments whether you consider Gremlins a Christmas movie. Because I do. Okay. And I like watching it during Christmas time. Because it makes me think of Christmas.
That's fine. That's great. That's great, B.
Come on, they're all in the snow. They're playing in the snow. There's like Christmas decorations all over the place. It takes place like during Christmas. That makes it a Christmas movie. It's totally a Christmas movie.
Okay. And if you took Christmas out of the film, would the film change at all?
Yes.
If it was a birthday gift?
Yes, because then you're talking about Gremlins 2, which was not as good.
No, if he just received it as a birthday gift instead of a Christmas gift, like the rest of the movie is exactly the same.
No, it'd be different.
It would have a
different feel.
Birthday was in January and there'd be snow. It'd be the same movie. Nothing would change.
No, because Phoebe Cates would tell the story of her dad, and the guy would be like, "Why are you telling me this?" It's relevant because it's Christmas time. Her dad dressed up as Santa, got stuck in the chimney, and died.
And that was that. And without that story, there is no movie. If that story wasn't there, that's what sold it. All those kids walking out of that theater, I'm sure back in the 80s were like, man, did you hear that story about that girl's dad? That's all I remember.
Takes place during Christmas movie.
Okay.
All right.
My number 5.
And
this is right up against the line. This is right up where I draw the line. So this is as close as I get to a non-Christmas movie on my Christmas movie list.
Okay.
And that is Home Alone.
That's my number 5.
Whoa, hey. Now,
which is completely a Christmas movie. This is 100% a Christmas movie.
It's on my list, but it's as close to not a Christmas movie as I can get.
How is this not close to a Christmas movie?
Look, is it a Christmas movie? Yes.
Yes.
Do I consider it a Christmas movie? Yes. It's on my list. But I have
100%.
literally watched this movie in like the summer to show my kids the movie for the first time. And not a one. No, and no one in the room was like, Dad, this is weird. Why are we watching a Christmas movie in July? Because the real story isn't like Christmas isn't the star. It's a side character, but it is important to the film. And like I said, like the two criteria. One was, is it weird to watch it in a month outside of like the Christmas time? And number 2 is does Christmas like play like a character in the movie? And Home Alone, I feel like it does. Like the setting, the tone, the fact that he's left home alone on Christmas.
Christmas, it was his Christmas wish. His
family that he reunites. Absolutely. Like I consider it a Christmas movie. It just goes a little bit more towards the general movie viewing experience. Like on your list, this is like the third most Christmassy Christmas film on your list. So we
Pretty
have different
close.
lists. We're
Pretty
like, you know,
close.
we're living different lists over here. So for me, this trends more towards like that universal watchability.
Okay.
You know, because it's a good family film, and you can pretty much put it on any time of year, and it's not going to feel weird. Look, there's certain music that like you may associate with Christmas, certain songs, and then there's like Jingle Bells, and you put Jingle Bells on, and it's like, okay, if it's February and you're singing Jingle Bells, people are gonna be like, shut up, shut up, shut your mouth. You know, but there's other songs that maybe you could connect to Christmas, especially personally, like just a song that for whatever reason you feel connection to. I'm not going to name any because I don't want to. But Home Alone's good, and we've been enjoying that. We've watched that already this year. That was our first after Thanksgiving Christmas movie watch.
Nice.
It's fun for my kids because they're basically the same age as Kevin in the film, so they're kind of like, you know, I'm sure contemplating. And I fell down the stairs. Maybe I didn't slip at all. Maybe this is a marble or toy car situation. They Home Aloned me.
They totally
Oh,
did.
they're trying to kill me. They don't understand the real world consequences. They died. Those burglars died like 5 or 6 times at least.
Oh man.
So I'm a goner.
I think watching that movie as a kid, it's just funny to see the guys get hurt, and then you watch it as an adult and you see them do that, and you're like, oh, like when the stunt person for Joe Pesci like slips on the ice and just goes flat back on the concrete. You're just like, oh, that looks like it hurts so bad.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Robot Chicken where they do Home Alone?
No.
And like the burglars are like, oh, look, there's ice. And they just walk around it and they go inside and they're like, oh, the door bomb's hot. Better let go. And then they just go inside and they kind of shoot the kid. And it's like very easy for them to rob the house because it's a kid and the traps are all. Anyway, it's funny in a dark way. Macaulay Culkin did voice the character on the Robot Chicken.
Oh, really? No, Home Alone's a great one. That's the one that my kids enjoy. They were a little freaked out by the furnace, but overall, like they laugh when the guys get hurt, and yeah, we started watching this one about 3 years ago, and so far it's been kind of every year we've at some point watched Home Alone. You know, and my kids kind of similar or around the same age, and so it's just fun and it's touching and. You know, it's horrifying as a parent to watch it. And, you know, you're also like, thank goodness for technology and cell phones, because this would never happen like in today, you know. But yeah, Home Alone, totally a Christmas movie. We love it. It's good.
And Catherine O'Hara's just and John Candy.
Oh yeah.
Treasures.
Totally.
All right. So my number four.
Number four.
My number 4 is Scrooged, the aforementioned.
Okay, so my number 10.
So this is one that I have enjoyed as kind of like an alternative Christmas movie, like that's still like it's dark and it's a little twisted in some ways, but it's still like a Christmas movie. Like it's not, you know, like one of the like I don't know, there's like one of the Christmas like horror movie like murder films that. Black Christmas or something. There's a couple that came out recently, like where
Santa sleigh, you know.
Yeah, it's Christmas time and now you're dead. Which there's certainly a place for that. And I know you're not a big horror movie fan. I enjoy horror movies, but not for like my Christmas watching. So this was it's kind of a cool, like Bill Murray is just like on fire. I love Bill Murray.
Oh yeah.
As we do more of these lists, if there's the possibility of me getting a Bill Murray film on my list, there will be a Bill Murray film that ranks pretty close to the high. We did our favorite movies, and Groundhog Day was on there. I love me some Bill, and he just knocks it out of the park in this one. And the score is great. It feels like that era of Tim Burton films are so fun, and like it just,
well, Tim Burton didn't do Scrooged, but Danny Elfman did this.
Danny Elfman, but like the setting felt like Batman, like it felt like Batman Returns. Sure. Like it could have just been. When did this come out?
Like 1990? Was this 1990?
You know what? I will look that up while you talk about stuff.
Yeah, this score is like a phenomenal Danny Elfman Christmas score. I have the
88.
You know, oh, it was 88. Oh, okay, so this was the same year as Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is Richard Donner. Yeah, he was great. Yeah, it was just fun. Like I really liked the time, because earlier in my list I had them up at Christmas Carol. This is, like I said, this is a story that I very much yeah, I don't like to leave my Christmas without at least one Christmas Carol telling. And this was just offered me a very unique take, and it is like the most different.
It is.
I think of all the ones that are on my list.
It's different.
I mean, you have
It's
Gremlins on yours, so I'm
darker.
not sure what else you got coming, but it's fun. And this is one that I have not shown the kids yet.
Okay.
And
that was going to be my next question: is have you shown the kids?
We'll see. So we'll see. I might show
it's
my
dark.
oldest, and I might. Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Last time I watched it, I remember thinking like this is pretty dark. You know, like the ghosts are pretty dark in this.
I mean, I was younger than my oldest is now when I saw it, so I don't know. I might show him this year, or maybe next year. Let us know below. Am I a bad dad if I show my kid Scrooged? He's 10 and he's always like, Dad, can we watch a scary movie, please? And I'm like, so I'm like, yeah, sure, we can watch a scary movie. How about Goonies? Terrifying.
I don't know.
He's like,
I've never seen it.
Come on, Dad. Oh yeah, that's right. All right, what's your number 4, Mr. Never Seen Goonies?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if that episode's come out yet. Spoiler alert. Okay.
Check the links.
Yeah. Look out for that episode coming soon. So my number 4 is Christmas Vacation. So, you know, it is funny. We just watched it. I showed the kids. We watched it as a family last year. So it's the first time showing the kids. And yeah, there were some awkward parts, you know, the pool scene. I'm kind of like,
hey,
all right. I know that this ends really soon, you know, and it just kind of keeps going. But still, I was still laughing. My kids will still run around and say, "Why is the carpet wet, Todd?" You know, "I don't know, Margot," and they just like go back and forth with that, and it's so funny. And it's even the time frame that it is, you know, where you have like the Todd and Margot, and you look at their house, and it's just like, that was like the rich, expensive, like 1989, you know, house. And you're just like, oh my goodness, this movie. And you know, the lights outside, you know, I love putting up Christmas lights, and I try to put up as many Christmas lights as I can. And so having that frustration of like going to turn it on and like not all of them coming on, or none of them coming on at once, and you're just like, I've spent all day, and like, you know, and then it's one little thing that just wasn't plugged in right. Like I can totally put myself in that position, and I'm just I just laugh, you know, the eggnog, just the way he drinks eggnog. It's just, I still just laugh a lot with it. I really enjoy that movie. You know, and so aside from the couple other things that I have to kind of brush over with kids, it's still one that I really enjoy, you know. And it's fun. And the kids laughed, and the kids thought it was funny, and I loved it as a kid. And I find even just last year, I still really enjoyed it. Not all my kids liked it. My oldest did not like it. She really didn't like the cat scene where the cat blows up underneath the couch. I've brought up this season talking about that movie, and she's like, Dad, I didn't like that movie. And I was like, well, why not? And she's like, I didn't like when the cat died. And I'm kind of like, well, it's not a real cat. It's just a fake cat. And she's like, I don't like that movie. So we'll see if it makes it out again this year. I don't know, but I still love it. I still laugh. It's still good. So,
all right. Maybe you want to give it another try. Maybe I'll give it another chance this year.
There you go. All right. How about your number 3?
All right. My number 3 is A Christmas Story.
Okay.
Did that make your list?
No.
Okay. So this is like the quintessential Christmas film. And when I was a kid, you know, it was just it was like literally on rotation. I think like TBS would just play this movie over and over
for like
only this movie.
They would.
And there's just like, so it was just a huge part of my childhood Christmas. You know, it's still a little like, it's not my favorite, obviously, and I don't know if I even like it more than like Scrooged or Home Alone or Mixed Nuts or some of these other ones that I put on the list. But it's got like this just kind of firm hold on like the first, I don't know, 15 to 20 years of my like Christmas movie watching experience. You know, and it was just synonymous with like the holiday for me. So it's still one, like it's a funny one. It's got some scenes that I think hold up better than others. It's got some jokes that I think that hold up better than others.
Yeah.
And obviously like it's very disconnected. It was disconnected from the childhood that I experienced when I was a kid. Like that was not like remotely like, I see, like there was never really a part of me that I'm like, oh, I see myself in these characters. And I feel like that's going to be even further away from my kids when I haven't showed them this one yet.
Okay.
I'm sure maybe we'll watch it this year. But it's hard to think of Christmas without it. And apparently not for you, because you hate it. You're busy putting non-Christmas movies on your Christmas list. You can't even find room on your Christmas list for like the Christmas movie. Unbelievable.
I saw this movie when I was young and I didn't like it. And the scene that made me not like it was when the Santa Claus, he was trying to like tell Santa what he wanted for Christmas, and the Santa he kicks him down the sled, and I was like,
oh, come on, it's so good.
And I was like, but Santa Claus is nice, like why would Santa do that? And like it honestly like troubled me so much that Santa Claus would do that like it almost kind of ruined it. And then I saw it like years later, and I was like, at that point I think I had just missed it, and kind of the magic just wasn't there. It is, in my opinion, the second most quotable Christmas movie. And so like you say you'll shoot your eye out and everyone knows what you're talking about. Yeah.
And you get like the leg lamp. There's still people in my neighborhood every Christmas. There's a leg lamp that goes up in their window. There's still just like little moments. And maybe at the end of the day, like some of those moments are like this more than the sum of their parts. Like maybe the moments are better than the actual movie, like in itself, like from top to bottom. But there's enough of those. The dog eating the whole turkey. I know you haven't had dogs your whole life, but I relate to these things. Yeah, you do. So
I do. It's my wife.
But I feel bad. I want to wrap you up in a little snuggie. And we're gonna watch all of the scary Santa movies. We're gonna reprogram you, bro.
No, I've got a thing. I want to be a Santa one day. I need a bit more gray to come in. The beard is good though. I cannot wait to be a Santa. And so to think that there's a Santa that would kick a kid down the stairs, just
do you hate Santa?
No, I love Santa.
Name one movie from your list so far that has Santa in it. Because you don't have the Santa Claus on your list.
There was a Santa Claus in Home Alone. He helped the kid out.
It's not Santa though.
Polar Express.
Was there Santa in that? I blocked that movie completely out. So terrible. All right. I almost had you though. All right. What's your number 3?
All right. My number 3. Die Hard.
It's not a Christmas movie.
It's there is Christmas music in the score to the movie. It's a Christmas movie. It takes place during a Christmas party at Christmas time with Christmas music throughout the whole movie. It's a Christmas movie.
It is not a Christmas movie. It's not even remotely close to a Christmas movie. And
I cannot believe you've fallen on this side, Charlie. Cannot believe
the side of logic and truth.
I thought that this would be on your list. Doggone it, Charlie.
I love this movie. It's not a Christmas movie.
You can only watch it during Christmas time.
What are you talking about? I don't think I've ever watched it during Christmas time.
Then you're missing out. It's got an extra special sense to it when you watch it during Christmas time.
What? No, it doesn't.
Yes,
it doesn't have any of that. No, the whole movie could have been John McClane coming home for a kid's birthday party, and the whole thing is just happens to be an office party. That's it.
Yeah, that's
And
all
then
the
whole
others. That's all the other diehards. That's all the other diehards. This
It
one
is.
This
You're
one is
absolutely right.
This one is special because this one is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard 2 has snow, therefore it's a Christmas film. I've heard from certain people's logic. So I mean, are all the Die Hards Christmas films, or just the first two?
Just the first one. None of the other
second
ones.
one's got snow. It's got snow, Brody.
Does
It's
it
gotta
use
be a Christmas
Christmas
movie.
music in the score?
I don't remember because I didn't like the second one.
I don't remember either because I haven't seen it in probably 30 years. So
I bet there is Christmas music in the second one. It is,
and if
okay.
there is, then it's a Christmas movie. But I'm just talking about the first one, which is a Christmas movie because I watched it at Christmas time, and it's got Christmas music, and it's got a Christmas
you can watch
party,
anything
and
Christmas
it's
time.
got snow, and it probably has a Christmas tree in the office building. Christmas movie.
It happens.
It's a great
It
movie.
happens to have some Christmas elements. Like Harry Potter has Christmas in it. It doesn't make it a Christmas movie. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, About a Boy. There's you can go a laundry list of films that feature a scene involving the holiday of Christmas, and you're making a face. Is Harry Potter your number one Christmas movie? Because it is not a Christmas movie.
No, it's not.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. This is not a Christmas movie.
It
has nothing to do with Christmas. It has nothing to do with Christmas. It's a minimal backdrop.
It's my number 3 Christmas movie of all time, Charlie.
It's not a Christmas movie. You could watch it in any month of the year, and no one's thinking it's weird. No one is. In fact, the only time it would be weird is on Christmas Eve, gathering the kids together, putting them in the room, and then popping on Yippee-Ki-Yay and saying, "Here we go, kids. We're watching a Christmas film." No, it's not a Christmas movie. It's a movie that has an element of Christmas.
If you watch this during July and the Christmas music plays through the whole thing, that doesn't feel weird to you?
No, not at all, because it is a movie that happens to have characters in it that is set around the time of Christmas, but it has no connection to me and my Christmas.
But the score is Christmas music.
If I watch like Muppet Christmas Carol, that is a Christmas film that makes no sense to pop on in July. It is purely a Christmas movie. It exists. And it was made. It was conceived to be a Christmas film.
Did it come out during Christmas time? Do you know?
No, you know what? I did not memorize the Die Hard movie release. I wasn't planning on even talking about Die Hard because I thought all logical people knew that was not a Christmas film. I guess this is a contentious internet debate. So let us know down below what you guys think. Is Die Hard a Christmas film? And keep in mind, look, me thinking it's not a Christmas film doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it around Christmas. It has nothing to do with that. You could watch whatever you want. You could say, oh, the Terminator 2 has which one of the Terminators has some Christmas in it. I forget which one. Was it T2?
No, not T2. Maybe T1.
One of the Terminators. So what? So you like Gremlins? You like whatever you want to watch during the holidays? Whatever gets you through, man. Whatever gets you through, you pop it on, you get through. Look, I'm in a place in my life where I got kids. I didn't always have kids, obviously, and I liked a lot of different things before. There's plenty of people out there, different age groups, different backgrounds. You guys like what you like, enjoy what you enjoy. And me sitting here saying, hey, it's not a Christmas movie, doesn't mean you can't enjoy it around Christmas. It just means it's not a Christmas movie. Not because I said it is, but because factually it is not a Christmas film.
But if you happen to enjoy it around Christmas time and want to think of it as a Christmas film, you can do that.
Don't listen to Brody.
I love it. I love it.
Trust a man who's never seen Goonies. You can't trust this man. He's afraid of Santa. He's afraid. That's why he's having Christmas movies. He's afraid of Santa.
I want to be a Santa. Are you kidding me?
So that's the real reason you hate the Santa Claus is because Tim Allen gets to be Santa, and that's your job.
I don't hate the Santa Claus. I just haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah. It was, by the way, released July 17th.
I was hoping
1988.
I Googled that too, and I wasn't going to bring it up.
The big Christmas release of Die Hard. They didn't even freaking summer blockbuster, bro, because it's an action film.
No, you know why? Because back then, movies would stay in theaters for about 6 months. So they figured,
what are you talking about?
Or maybe
back then. When do you think they released Scrooged, Brody? Back in 1988, the same year. Do you think they
May-
released it in December, or do you think they released it in July in hopes that it would still be in
maybe the
theaters
goal
by then?
was that they release it in theaters in July so that way it could come to video in time for Christmas.
Or, and hear me out, if it's a Christmas movie, they release it near Christmas and make a whole bunch of money because everyone wants to see Christmas movies around Christmas.
Why would they release
especially
it in
the 80s.
July? It's a Christmas movie. It
Because
doesn't
it's
make
not
sense.
a Christmas film.
It doesn't
makes
make any
perfect
sense. It's the
It's
studio.
an action film.
I blame the studio.
Oh my gosh.
Why was
all right.
Die Hard released in July?
Because they knew they'd make more money releasing a big budget action film that has nothing to do with Christmas in the summer months than they would releasing it at the end of the year when people want to see holiday family
Oh my
Christmas
goodness.
films.
Oh my goodness.
Very simple. All right. Well, anyway,
Hey, you know what?
shall
You know
we,
what? You know what also was released in June? Miracle on 34th Street, Charlie. Doggone it.
So I'm sorry. So your argument is that a movie released in what, like the 30s?
Miracle on 34th Street came out in June.
That's because back then theaters weren't open in the winter. You literally couldn't go see a movie in December.
Batman Returns was also released in June, Charlie.
Now I'm making that up, but it could be plausible. Batman Returns is not a Christmas movie. That's why every movie is anyway. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, that's my number 3. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
And this, I know it's got some Halloween elements, and it's a fun one. But this is one that I have enjoyed thoroughly throughout my life, and my kids have embraced. So this is one that has made that transition. There are few and far between that have like really kind of threaded that from me to them in terms of the Christmas movies. I didn't like Home Alone when I was younger. I thought it was irritating. So I've had I've enjoyed it a lot now as a parent. When I watched it, I think when it first came out, I was like, this is stupid. So shame on me for I was late to that party. So my list is largely full of movies that either I enjoy that haven't quite made it to my kids, and my kids enjoy, but I'm like, meh. So this one is one that we all watch. We watch it every year. My top 2 are ones that pretty much get played every single year. So the other ones may flip flop through rotation. There's some honorable mentions that we'll talk about at the end. There's like a lot of like newer, interesting Christmas movies that have come out over the last couple of years that I just haven't lived with long enough for them to be like my favorites. But they may be taken over if we're still doing this thing next Christmas. Maybe I might have a totally different reshaped list. So who knows? But I love this. The claymation is fantastic. The music is amazing. This is one of some of the songs like Sally's Lament, the Sally song, the What's This? They're ones I teach to my guitar students and piano students around this time of year, and it's a really fun ride, and also very different.
Yeah, I think we have the same 1 and 2, just flipped. So I'll just should I talk about Nightmare now, or should we wait?
Yeah, sure. So is that your number 1?
So Nightmare is my number 1. That is just, I have very fond memories. I remember when it came out. We saw it in theaters. I remember the theater that we saw it at. I remember we almost immediately went and bought the soundtrack, and the soundtrack just lived in the stereo for all of Christmas. I still have pretty much that whole soundtrack memorized. The soundtrack, by the way, is better than what's in the movie because the intro and the epilogue are done by Patrick Stewart, which is like so good. But the movie itself is just great. I think it is held up, even with the technology that they had. I just showed my kids for the first time this year that movie. Okay. They liked it. I was a little bit worried about my youngest, my 4-year-old, and whether she was going to be scared of it or not, but she wasn't.
Let us know down below if Brody's a bad dad for showing his 4-year-old.
Yeah, I didn't show the oldest until she was 9. It just happened that the others were in the room.
They mature younger.
But we have a couple. We have like a Nightmare Before Christmas. I almost said Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare Before
Yeah, you did.
Christmas.
Hey, that's a Christmas movie.
Advent calendar that hangs up every year, and so they've known who Jack Skellington is and who Oogie Boogie is, and we play the songs, and so it was fun to be able to show them the actual movie. We watched it right after Halloween, kind of in anticipation. I was like, I think we might be ready, and so we just went ahead. We watched it in the daytime just in case. But yeah, it was good. It held up. The kids all liked it, and so now they ask for us to play the songs in the car. And yeah, this one totally Christmas. It hits me on the nostalgic level. It hits me like on today's level. This is my number one like Christmas movie. Could it be my number two? Like, I think my number 1 and 2 honestly could flip flop on like any given day on how kind of Christmassy I'm feeling. I think Nightmare probably has an edge over my number 2 because of that nostalgia part, where Nightmare Before Christmas, I've got the soundtrack memories. I've got all this stuff. I remember seeing it in the theaters, and all these things that have been a part of my life for nearly 30 years. And so that's kind of why it pushes my number 2 over. But I think on any day, my number 1 and number 2 are so close. So
right.
Well, what is your number 1 then?
So my number 1 is Love Actually. And it's not. No, it's not. I lied. I just wanted to throw you off because you said we had the same. So it's Elf. And
Elf is my number 2. That could be my number 1 on any day.
Yeah. And I imagine that's near the top of a lot of people's lists. And I'm sure some of you are thinking, not my list. And that's cool. Share your list. And maybe you have a totally different 10. You'll notice that Brody and I don't have a decidedly lack of like pre-1980 Christmas films.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us have seen any of the classics because we're the worst. So, let us know below what we missed on. But Elf is like that beautiful blend of humor and magic and Christmas spirit and sentiment. There's still moments in that movie that choke me up a little bit, and there's still moments that just make me laugh out loud. And my kids love it, and it is a must watch every year.
Totally.
And it'd be enjoyable to watch in July, but weird to watch in July because it's a Christmas movie. And when did they release Elf? Did they release Elf in July? They did not release Elf in July. Anyway, it's a great movie. And Will Ferrell's just like perfect for the role.
He is.
And the whole cast is great, actually. So it's one of my go-to and one of the ones I look forward to watching the most. And it just feels like that pops on and it feels like Christmas in the house. So
yeah, I totally agree. I think Elf is, and it's odd. I remember when it kind of came out and everybody was talking about it as this like Christmas classic, and it just came out in like 2008 or something like that. It is not
2003.
Old. Oh, 2003. Oh my goodness, it's 17 years old.
It's been a long time now.
Oh, and so I remember when it came out and people were talking about it being like a Christmas classic, and I was like, well, I think we're a bit early now, but really it has stood the test of time. It has endured. It is one that I think we watch, with the family, every Christmas, and the kids like it and the adults like it, and kind of everybody who watches it likes it and laughs. And at the end you've got everybody's happy, and yeah, it is really, like, in my opinion, probably one of the best Christmas as a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
If I had kind of, as I said, like, this could be my number 1 Christmas movie had Nightmare not had 30 years in my brain. But yeah, it is. Elf is so good. It's so good. And we'll probably watch it here in the next week or two.
Maybe to refine our search parameters, we should just stick to movies that were released in the month of November in the theaters, because like Home Alone and Scrooged.
Oh, so Harry Potter would count.
Absolutely, it's more of a Christmas film than Die Hard.
Oh, give me a break. Was Die Hard re-released at some point?
You know when Gremlins was released? Gremlins
June.
was released in
June.
Yeah.
I know, Charlie. It was released in June.
All right. But look, in all seriousness, because like I can be as much of a a jerk about it as I want, or easy about it. But it is cool, like just having movies that make you feel good at the holiday season. Honorable mention on my list is like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is a movie that I love.
I thought
But it's a
about putting
Thanksgiving-
that on. I thought
Thanksgiving
about
film.
putting that
So
on. Yeah,
I try to be real rigid about my approach, but like that's one I love watching even around Christmas time. And then there's look, Love Actually is that's not great. I don't know. I liked it when it came out because I was like super into rom-coms and Hugh Grant and I don't know. It was fine. Liam Neeson. It's a good cast, I guess. I bet a lot of the storylines were real, especially as I got older. It's kind of like So it's not one that like I gravitate towards. Some
all
of
the
storylines
girls
get
I
to
was
me, some of them
dating
I
at the
miss.
time, around that time, were like, "Oh, Love Actually," and I honestly, I don't know that I've seen it all the way through. I think I've seen bits and pieces here and there. There's like the guy who wants to have an affair, and other people who are in love.
Yeah, there's some
and I
sketchy.
I was kind of like,
They like make fun of that girl's weight, even though she's like not heavy at all. It's like a weird. There's just like some weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some
So
weird stuff in it.
I haven't even seen it.
I
What do
do
you-
like. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I had some other honorable mentions. Is that what
Okay.
you're?
No,
I didn't.
go.
Okay, go ahead. This is good. This is good.
Well, okay, so I looked up like a list of like popular Christmas movies just to make sure I hadn't forgotten anything, like because I'm old and sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about Elf or something like that.
What?
And I saw some odd ones, like even ones that I would consider odd to be
Like what?
listed under like Christmas movies. Eyes Wide Shut. Some people have that listed as a Christmas movie.
Now I know of The Eyes Wide Shut, the Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. I
Okay.
don't think I've ever seen it, and by I don't think I've ever seen it, I'm going to double down. I've never seen that, so I can't
okay.
speak to its Christmassy nature. Isn't that like just about like a big orgy?
It's about a lot of things. I watched it in a film class actually in college when I took a whole class on Stanley Kubrick, where we watched every Stanley Kubrick movie. It's an odd one. I don't really honestly, I don't remember it even taking place during Christmas. But yeah, that was an odd thing that I was like, Eyes Wide Shut is a Christmas movie. I mean, you've got to have a weird Christmas to be pulling out Eyes Wide Shut, and that's coming from the guy that's got Die Hard and Gremlins on his Christmas list.
Well, I guess there are probably a lot of Christmas packages in the movie. Were there other weird ones that you noticed, or
Better Off Dead?
there is snow in that movie? It's a fun movie.
Yeah, it it was.
Look,
There was a couple odd ones, and I figured I would.
I'm sure there's ones we missed, and I'm sure there's ones that have like a loose
Absolutely.
connection to Christmas that people enjoy. Let us know below. Like the Christmas Chronicles film series. Now there's a second one which we haven't watched yet.
I was going to
The first
ask
one
you
was
about that.
enjoyable. I like the first one, and we'll watch the second one this year, and we'll see. That might be one that we watch repeatedly over the next few years and
Yeah.
worms its way like up my list. Klaus, we really enjoyed last year. That was
What was
a
that?
cartoon, an animated Christmas film on Netflix. It was if you didn't, I mean, it's probably gonna scare you.
Oh,
Klaus,
scary?
There's like a scary Santa type figure in it.
I don't
feel
want
like that's
that.
gonna terrify you.
no, I don't want
No,
that.
it's really good. You should watch it with the kids. It's a tearjerker. It's a nice one. Our absolute, if I'm being honest, the Christmas movie I've watched over the last 8 years the most is Curious George, A Very Monkey Christmas. The music is phenomenal. If you have young kids,
Yes, you have a
and you want to
10-year-old and an
watch
8-year-old.
now, but over the last 8 years, they all, and I also have a little 2-year-old
Yeah,
almost.
that's true. That's true.
Although he's bigger than this, but but still, like, so we just watched it this year. We put it on because all three of my kids love music, and there's just a lot of songs in there. They all love music now, and they all love music when they were younger too. And so the songs come on, and it really captures like my youngest son is like, oh, he's into it, and they all like George. So my older ones will snuggle up, and so I had like a couch full of like boys just snuggled up, and we just watched Curious George. And it's just it's a pleasant watch. It goes by fast. It's not, I think it's like an hour long. The music is good. I'm not recommending it to you as like adults go out there and bike your eggnog and put on the Curious George. But like, if you got some young kids and you're looking for something that's like not irritating to watch, that is a nice one. And I want to watch Jingle Jangle. That's the new one that is on Netflix this year with Forrest Whitaker. I have not seen that yet. It's on my to-do list this holiday season. So
I think Christmas Chronicles is one that I like to see. I know my kids watched it with my mom like last year in like early November, and I saw like the last maybe quarter of it, and I was like, I can't watch this in early November. Well, we'll watch it again in Christmas time, and then we didn't. But now they came out with another one, and so that is one that I'd like to see. You know, I love some Kurt Russell.
It's worth a watch.
He looks like a cool Santa. So
honestly, it's probably better than half the movies on my list, but just less meaningful. Like, and I'm not saying it's like a perfect movie or whatever, but like, I got Ernest Saves Christmas on my list, for crying out loud. I'm not like, screaming quality over here from top to bottom. But by the way, if I did consider Die Hard a Christmas movie, that would be up at the top, because that's a great movie.
Oh, good.
So don't get me wrong, I enjoy me some Die Hard. Before you light me up too bad in the comments down below here. Love me some Bruce. I've met him in real life. I've rubbed his head.
No, you
did
not.
It is soft in places and scratchy in other places, but not where you would expect. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Is that a true story, Charlie?
Do with that information what you will.
Why have
Why
I never heard of you meeting Bruce Willis and rubbing his head?
Why have you yet?
I feel like that's something I would have heard about.
There's a lot about me you don't know, bro.
Is
Tell the
there,
people about the time you peed next
Charlie?
to MC Hammer at a Denny's.
I did. So we were at a Denny's at about 2 a.m, and MC Hammer and his group walk in, and we were all like, I think that's MC Hammer. And then, because I was young, he got up to use the restroom, and I was like, I'm gonna go in there. So then we peed next to each other. I waited until we were done peeing, and then as we were washing our hands, I said, "Are you MC Hammer?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "Can I get an autograph?" He said, "When I'm done with my food." I said, "Works for me." And then I got his autograph. I still have it someplace. That was in 1998.
You left out the best part of the story, is that while they were peeing, Brody starts glancing over, and MC looks at him and says, "Can't touch this."
Didn't happen.
Oh,
thankfully, that did not happen. That is not a part of the story.
I feel like you got to add that part in, though, bro. Come on.
No, because then people just think I'm lying, and that it's just a long joke.
That's fair. All right, so we both met celebrities. No big deal.
Yeah.
Were there any other honorable mentions for you on your Christmas list?
No, I kind of, and I kind of jokingly have Batman Returns on there. I don't really consider that a Christmas movie. Edward Scissorhands is really like that honestly would be like pushing the line for as far as you. It's like yes, it's got a lot of Christmas in it and things like that. The whole finale kind of takes place during Christmas time and all the snow and Christmas decorations and things like that, but I don't think I would consider that a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Now, there've been a few like Christmas rom-coms. I don't know. Does your wife like or are you look, to be fair, I know what Brody likes and doesn't like, so I'm asking if his wife likes it, because I already know that he does not enjoy like the Lifetime style Hallmark Christmas movies. My friends and I, in a non-COVID years, we all get together and we have a Hallmark Christmas movie party We make bingo
cool.
cards. Yeah, we make bingo cards that have like cliches from like the Hallmark movies. So like a handsome single father, singing of a Christmas carol, a Christmas decoration montage, tree lighting ceremony, whatever. Just a bunch of like little squares. And then we put little Santa hats on the corner of the televisions. And anytime like a character turns profile and the Santa hat looks like it's on top of their head, we have to drink. And we fill out the bingo card and we drink. It's really just an excuse to drink, and watch like kind of cheesy Hallmark Christmas movies.
Okay.
So I've seen some Candace Cameron Bure and some Lori Loughlin. And I don't know. There's been some real bad ones. But hey, you're drinking, so not so bad.
No,
it's a fun.
I don't really have much. My wife isn't really into the rom-coms. I'm not really into the rom-coms. And so I know that they're out there, especially during Christmas time, of Christmas date or I don't know. I see them on Netflix.
There's an Emma Roberts one out this year.
Is there?
My wife and I'll probably watch that one at some point. We like the rom-coms. Look, they're probably never gonna make the list because the story of falling in love is cute. It's good.
Isn't Elf just a rom-com?
No, it's about a boy finding his family. Like it's
and
like,
a
really
girl
like
to fall in love with.
Sure, but the romance, like you take the romance out of that, and they just end up friends. Like the movie's maybe even more enjoyable. Like probably the weirdest part of that is like the romance between a grown woman and like really like a man child with a boy child brain. Like you almost kind of like don't think about it too deep and like just move through it and it's fine. He's like in the shower, like she's taking a shower and he's in there singing.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, right.
It's fine. He's got the brain of a child. Don't worry about it. But also hook up with him. So yeah, that part's they threw that in there, but the really like the James Caan and like the father son and like him finding his place in the world, like that's, and then like it's a fish out of water story, which I do think tend to be a little bit more enjoyable because they're a little more relatable. We've all felt like the fish out of water. We've all been a little elf boy lost from our family, just trying to fit in.
I like the love story part of it.
It's cute. Zooey Deschanel.
It's cute.
She's
as a blonde.
Did you watch New Girl? Did you ever get into that? Oh, it's an enjoyable show. We have to do a TV episode because I feel like you have not watched good television shows, and I need to like shame you for having not seen them and try to peer pressure you into watching them.
I saw a couple episodes of New Girl, and I wasn't real impressed.
That's like saying I put on the movie and I watched 2.5 minutes of it and then I gave up.
Sometimes that's all you need, Charlie.
Oh, look, New Girl's like not even in my top 10. If we did a top 10 TV show, it wouldn't be in my top 10. But it's it's got its moments. It's got the characters are a lot of fun. Schmidt's a lot of fun, and Nick Miller is great. And
all right, anyway, well,
turning into a new.
That's a conversation for
let us know
day.
Below. Would you guys be interested in a podcast where we talk about best shows of the last decade or best TV shows of all time, or any list in which we get to make fun of Brody for having not seen basically all of the good television that exists in the history of television, because he has not seen it. I guarantee it.
I've seen some good TV.
You've seen like an episode of this show.
That'll be a good list one day, is top shows, and there will probably be no crossover.
No, because I'll have 10 shows that I've seen from top to bottom, and you'll be like, yeah, I watched one episode of that, and then I was like, whatever, there's not even like Tim Burton involved, and there's no Danny Elfman score, so it's like, what's the point of watching it?
That's not my
Where's
only
Batman?
criteria.
Batman's not in the show. I don't.
No,
doesn't sound anything like. I'm not sure why that's the voice, but
Batman shows up in shows that I've never seen before.
Yeah,
but that is not a conversation for the Christmas episode. So
no, you're right.
Let us know down below, what are some of your favorite Christmas episodes? Christmas movies,
please.
Not episodes. Movies.
We should do best Christmas episodes from TV shows too next week.
I'll have like, I don't even know if I could name one. Actually, I know what. You know what? WWE Raw had Christmas episodes. I could do Raw.
Did you watch The Office ever, or did you skip The Office?
No, well? I did go through The Office. I did go through that.
Okay, they have some great Christmas episodes in The Office.
Yeah, they had good episodes of everything. Okay, so let us know below. what Christmas movies you watch every year. What are some of your favorites? What are some are just
Yeah.
nostalgia? Which ones are we wrong about?
Yeah. Do you ascribe more towards me with a rigid sense of what's a Christmas movie and what is not, but still with the room and the freedom to enjoy whatever you want around the holidays? Or are you more like Brody, who can't think of 10 movies that center around Christmas, so he cheated?
There's a lot of people that consider Die Hard a Christmas movie, Charlie. I'm not the only one.
There are also people that would hate every single movie I put on my list.
Probably.
Because they probably don't enjoy the traditional Christmas movie.
Mm.
I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Let me know politely down below.
Politely, please.
Politely.
Be nice to us.
Go easy. Go easy. Hit that like button and subscribe for more content. We're gonna have plenty more coming your way. I hope you had a good time and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all you out there.
And we will talk to you
all a
guys
good night.
next time.